Spanish royalty will soon be visiting St. Augustine. The news came following a surprise visit from the ambassador of Spain yesterday. He said King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia will be in town in September for a forum and to celebrate St. Augustine's 450th anniversary. Channel 4's Crystal Moyer spoke with city leaders about the announcement.
Along with the King and Queen of Spain, city officials are expecting more than 250 world leaders for the U.S.-Spain Council Summit in September. I spoke with a St. Augustine man who says he already has experience accommodating royalty.
It's a very exciting time for St. Augustine. As I told you earlier, you only get a 450th birthday once.
You may recognize Mark Alexander. He served as St. Augustine's mayor back in 2000, and he is one of many St. Augustine natives who was overjoyed to hear that King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia will be visiting Florida's oldest city. Alexander said that puts a lot of pressure on city leaders to make their visit one they won't forget.
There's a lot of planning. There's a lot of things that you have to do. There's a lot of protocol.
And authorities say security will be tight with an increase in patrols and special security that travels with the royal family. And of course,
there'll be a lot of people here.
Alexander knows firsthand because he rubbed elbows with King Juan Carlos and Queen Sofia when they visited St. Augustine in 2001. Thousands of people crowded the streets to get a glimpse of royalty.
I noticed how friendly they were and ready to shake people's hands and talk to them.
Alexander says one of the most memorable moments was when he gave the King and Queen a tour of Castillo de San Marcos.
We walked up to the top deck, and I noticed that the King thought this was quite fascinating. He'd already kind of gotten a little tour from the director, and he didn't want to leave. As the rest of the entourage was turning to leave, he didn't want to leave. Of course, I looked at him and said, "Your Majesty, you don't have to leave on our account."
And more than a decade later, their majesties will be visiting again.
His ancestors paid for this, so he finally gets, as a ancestor gets to visit.
Coincidentally, the last Spanish reign of a king named Felipe was in the early 1700s, when La Florida and St. Augustine were still part of Spain's kingdom. Now the summit will take place right here in St. Augustine in mid-September. Reporting in St. Augustine, Crystal Moyer, Channel 4, the local station.